with the Carboys, if I'm making a 5-gallon batch with the Carboys, I have the I got one of those. You get them on Amazon. It's like that plastic stick with the felt on the end. It does a really great job of. Yeah, you put it in a drill, and it does a great job of getting all the schmutz off of the sides of the Carboy. That's what I've been doing for the past 2 or 3 years, as far as getting the Carboys clean. I think if somebody sells for like a ridiculous $129 or something, some sort of power washer, but I don't bother with them. I think I think it's a $10 or $12 rod that does a great job for getting those Carboys spotless. And then it's the same thing with the Carboy. Usually, what I'll do is I'll pour, I don't know, maybe a quart of Star Sand solution in there, swish it around, and pour it out. And it's a no rinse solution, so I just leave them. I leave the Star Sand in there, and then if anything, when I'm about to pour the must in there, I'll give it like a final rinse with. I have like a little jug of distilled water, and I'll rinse it and then pour the must in. But that's basically what I do.
Okay.
I
also do the
flappy. That's like a car wash for Carboys,
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
it's like those car washing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. It's like those felt things they slap your car with when you go through this. That's really a good idea.
Yeah, they do a really great job. It's kind of you see it online if you go on YouTube, they kind of demonstrate it. I don't know how they do it, but the actual rod is flexible. So the first time I used it, it was kind of fun to watch if you were not me.
How much water ended up on the floor?
Oh man, it was funny.
Now, do you use that thing with the Carboy? Do you use that thing with the Carboy full, or with it just a little in the bottom, or?
Just a little in the bottom. It's whatever I usually just use water, like a glass full of water, and that's enough.
Okay, I've considered getting one of those. I just never got around to it because I wasn't sure exactly how I was supposed to use it, and I have fun annoying my husband with the noise from using the scrub brushes.
Yeah. Well, and the thing with the scrub brushes is, of course, then you scratch, especially if you're using plastic fermenters at some point, then you get this. I've always been concerned about the scratching because bacteria can hide in the scratches. And I did the same thing. I have a set of like sacred scrub brushes that don't get used for anything else, that are mead only. That when I'm done with them, I stick them in a jar of Star Sand and let them sanitize. And then I stick them in, when they dry out, I stick them in a plastic bag or something so that they don't get dirty.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other thing is average 30 seconds to clean a Carboy.
That's better than my 5 minutes for a really dirty one.
Yeah. So, I mean, it pretty much revolutionized my Carboy cleaning. And they have little tiny ones for beer bottles too, and for wine bottles.
Oh,
yeah, so that's
I may have to go look into that.
I know. I was just thinking that because I stick mine in the dishwasher, but even the dishwasher doesn't get all the, splooge out of there. Especially if they've sat. My husband has a bad habit of taking my Carboys and buckets and setting them out on the covered porch, which means they get covered up in pollen and dust and blah, and it's like cleaning them is kind of a pain.
Right.
That's good incentive to keep them full.
Yeah, well, because I have so much free time, I mean.
Right.
Yeah, although I am so gonna make a bomb after having Bray on a couple weeks ago. I'm like really pumped to do that, and I know I've got 3/4 of a pail of metal foam around here somewhere. So I just gotta make the time to go down to my brew shop and get some ale yeast because I've always used wine yeast for my mead. So I've got to go get some ale yeast and give this a shot and see what I can produce because I'm curious,
Yeah, I actually have a packet of that in my fridge. I just haven't had the time and inclination to sit down and use it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So once I get through, spring's going to be really busy. I've got a lot of things going on in my black potter group that we're doing. So I'm going to be between juggling this and that. I'm going to be like that, and of course I have a real job and stuff. So yeah, not a lot of free time. So what about you, Alan? How do you sanitize?
So my favorite thing now is having a spray bottle of sanitizer on the ready to go when brewing. Star San for everything.
Yeah, I'm a big Star San fan too.
I should probably experiment some stuff. I know one of the guests on your show a while back, or somebody who called in and mentioned rotating through sanitizers, and that's probably something I should try at some point. I know I've had a couple meads that have kicked off and gone really wild and funky, but it doesn't help when I'm regularly trying to cultivate wild yeast, so I just get random stuff in my house, and it's like, oh, hey, I don't know where that came from. And I get some really weird photos of things that I wish were sanitized better. Like I made a Dwoniak that I gotta get Merrick to pronounce it again.
I think Dwoniak is right, but
Dwoniak.
I gotta get Merrick on the show. It's hard getting them with their time frame. You guys are recorded, so you can time it differently.
Yeah, we recorded with him speaking all the Polish mead names when we were at the Mazer Cup this year. So
nice! Yeah, you guys got to give me some footage on that so we can do a.
That's about all we got from the Mazer Cup, though. Unfortunately, it was a busy time. You can't volunteer and record.
Very true. Well, we'll organize next year. I'll be there, and between us, we'll be able to.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we'll take a day off.
Abandon you guys this year, but I really had no choice.
Oh no. But I'm pretty sure that one grew all sorts of funky things. I had weird spindly things growing in it. I don't know what's going on. It's sitting there. It's a 3-gallon batch. I'm like, one day I'll rack it and hopefully it's drinkable. I don't know. Yeah. It's back of the closet you forget about it until you have to
think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the spray bottles really helped a lot for spot cleaning. So if I'm doing something, especially if I'm just making a batch, oftentimes you don't really have to sanitize that much that requires wasting the Star San for 5 gallons. So if I can spray bottle everything down, if it's mostly clean from the last time I used it, it saves a lot in just general waste of Star San. So you're not going and wasting an ounce every brew day.
Yeah.
Bottling's a whole other story because I definitely soak in buckets for bottles just to get them as clean as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another good one. Bottle washing. How does everybody handle that? What I've got is a 3-gallon pail that fits 7 wine bottles, and I put a little bit of dish soap in each one, and then fill them all up with hot water. Fill the rest of the bucket up with hot water. Let it soak long enough to soften the labels. Scrape the labels off with a spoon, and then get the bottle brush in, and I have one of the little bottle blaster things that attaches to the faucet, and that's what I use to rinse once I've emptied. And what I do is I have this whole circuit, and put the timer on for 10 minutes, let it sit, and then scrub them all, and then pick up another bottle and empty the old one into, so that I keep the hot water going for as long as it's still hot. And so I just sort of have this sort of 10-minute timer where I let them soak, and then scrub 7 bottles, put 7 new bottles in with the same stuff from the old bottles, and then bottle blast them and put them on the tree.
All of my stuff is beer bottles. I don't cork anything. So generally, it's any beer bottle that I drink immediately gets rinsed when it's done, and then set aside. So I'm not worried about any gunk growing. If I don't rinse it, I throw the bottle away. It's not worth the effort. I usually soak labels off with OxyClean. It works for most labels. A couple things are really difficult to get out.
Ooh.
I really need to figure out how to get a bee nectar label off of a bottle because I love the bottle sizes, and I've got nothing that gets it off. Yeah, you're like,
have you tried Goo Gone?
Glue or something,
Yeah.
Have you tried
Maybe
Goo Gone?
I'll take some steel wool. I haven't.
Yeah, because for getting labels off, my first process is soak, and if that doesn't work and it leaves a lot of gummy stuff, sometimes really good hot water will cause it to let go, and then I just end up with gummy all over my spoon. Mm-hmm. And then if that doesn't work, there's a couple of brands that have labels where you can peel some of the paper off, but it doesn't take all of it off. And those ones I have Goo Gone, the spray gel, and you just lay them out on a paper towel, spray them, let them soak for a bit, and then you got to wipe off the stuff. And then, of course, you have to wash them again because you don't want Goo Gone in your mead.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the easiest that I have found reusing to get labels off is Redstone. He uses those really cool blue 500 and 1 liter, 500 ml and 1 liter bottles. And
they're all flip top too, which is really nice.
Yeah, and they're Grolsch bottles. So yeah, I like grab those every opportunity I get. Yeah, I don't have as many opportunities as I used to, but I managed to glom on to 2-3 cases of them along the way. When they used to pour at the local Ren Fair before it crashed and burned, so I got a lot of extra bottles that way. But yeah, getting the labels off those was easy peasy. I mean, you get them wet and they just peel right off, and I was just like, "Thank you, David." You know?
Yeah. Yeah. For me, if the Goo Gone doesn't work, they go to the recycle. I just don't deal with them anymore.
Right. Yeah, I use champagne bottles. Okay. Lots of champagne bottles because they have the larger champagne bottle crown cap, which I got the adapter for my bottle capper from my beer days.
Oh, cool!
And they're great. You just cap away and $7.50, and they're great. Huh. You know, most of them are very easy to get the labels off.
Well,
just hot water.
I did not know that. That's a good. Oops, sorry. That's a good tip. That's just me knocking shit over.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw how they degorged the champagne bottles, and I noticed that all of them had crown caps on them before they got to the degorging part. I was like, wait a minute. If they're carbonated and they have these crown caps, and I did a little research, and so it's basically a $2 adapter that you put onto your beer bottle capper and go. You know, you're done. It's great.
Cool. Anybody else got tricks for handling bottles?
I don't know. I use a great big I've got a I'm not even sure what kind of it's this giant wide mouth pail, so the top is much wider than the bottom, and it's got rope handles in it. I have no idea what kind of pail it is. I just got it somewhere. But I fill it up with Star Sand solution, and I basically just dump all my bottles in there, which they've already been through the dishwasher at that point. So they got rinsed when they were finished, so they didn't have gunk in the bottom of them. Then I run them through the dishwasher to really wash them out good. Then I throw them in a bucket of Star Sand and make sure they all get full when I put them in there, and then just let them hang out there for a while I'm racking and everything.
That'll do it.
Yeah. And so far, knock on wood, knocking on my desk, I have not had a bottle go sideways on me, so, you know, I've been lucky.
Yeah, and ever since I got that little rod thing with the drill, I mean, that makes a snap. It's a snap to wash the bottles too. So
how does that work for the ones with the really deep dimples?
The really deep dimples. It works fine.
Okay.
The champagne bottles seem to get clean. Yeah, because you know what happens is it bends a little bit and it actually gets in there. And,
okay.
You know, so it scrubs them out. Yeah. I should put a video up on YouTube of how it works.
Yeah, and link me so I can put it up on Got Mead.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That sounds good.
We'll totally link it to the show, and we'll link it just to the site.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
To the Facebook page and stuff.
And then everybody will buy one, and we will all be happy.
Yeah, Alan is teasing a little bit on the with the spoon thing. You know what goes on Twitter when you're not looking.
Hey, that's not me. That's all Tyson. Is
that Tyson?
Yeah, Tyson's listening in. He can't call in.
Hey Tyson, I didn't.
Maybe we'll tease him into calling. But
yeah, right.
He's the one tweeting now.
Yeah,
I know better than to tweet when I'm on the show.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You guys have done it before. We got in trouble. Remember?
No, I mean I tend to tweet things that are nonsensical when I'm talking to people. I just it happens.
So, yeah, okay, so Tyson. Sorry, Tyson. All I saw was just mead, and I didn't even look to see if it was drinker, not maker. Goes to show you, which, like you were just saying, Alan, it's like, it's kind of like focusing on that and talking at the same time kind of hard.
I can't do it. It's not possible.
I've gotten better at dividing my attention. That means my speech gets a little stilted when I'm doing it, but I can manage. But, yeah, he said, with a spoon...
Yes, because it's got a bit of a curve for the bottle.
Well,
yeah, it does.
Yeah, we were just kind of...
And it makes a really annoying noise that pisses off my husband. It's great.
Oh, my God. Yeah, but it's like fingers on a blackboard, right?
Not really. It's actually not much worse than the twisted bottle brush hitting the neck of the bottle. It's not much worse than that.
Oh, okay.